Welcome to the opening of the System 7 first print run. Let's cut it open. 2 copies of every card in the system. Curious to see what they look like. I've lost track of how many hours of work this represents. You look at it on the computer screen for hours and hours and hours, but actually having it in your hand is different. It's more real. If I cut myself, I'm not posting this. Of course, I've had this knife for a long time. Want to see the scar? Paper. That's a good sign. I mean, you know, when they pack something, at least they're doing a decent job of it. So, the first card I'm seeing has me in a complete panic. Because, as you can see, it's a micro version of the card. Obviously, I don't want a micro version of the card. Okay, so this is the last card in the set, Wounding Strike. And there's sort of a huge design thing here I'm seeing. The border is far too narrow. And the surface of the card has a grid pattern on it. I don't want to think about the number of hours of work it's going to take to fix this. 2 sets. Paperwork. Can't say I'm impressed with the paperwork. That is someone who's in a rush, folding it up. Drive-through cards. You know, they delivered, so let's see what we got. Yep, I Ben tested it. I like the back. That worked. That's doing the job. See, one of my problems is I've been looking at these cards on a computer screen where they're about 5 times this size for months. You end up with a tunnel vision. The blue came out pretty dark. White looks good. The medical symbol is just a little close to the artwork. That could be adjusted slightly. The set symbol looks good. The elemental symbols are looking good. You know, I might just leave well enough alone. The borders are a little thin, but I'm used to Magic the Gathering, and maybe it would be a good idea to stay away from Magic the Gathering. And if this has accidentally made it less magic-y, that might be a good thing. I'm really happy it passed the bend test. That's you know, that's a real staple of card testing. I could shuffle these. They're just slick enough. I don't like the finish though. When I get the next run, I'm going to change the finish. Whenever you print something from a computer screen, it gets darker. So the black looks good, the white looks good, green is good, but the blue looks a little darker than what I was expecting. Still, for what I paid for these, this is really good quality. I'm liking this. So here's the character card. One of my questions will be, is there enough room there to write everything? I don't think that's going to be the case. We'll see. Might have to put a piece of paper with it or something. ladies and gentlemen, good luck getting one of these. I'm quite serious about that because of all the cards, I have made the Black Lotus the rarest. It's going to be underprinted. It's a really powerful card, and it's kind of game and balancing. So I don't want to hand out too many. This is good. This is gonna work. This was an idea I had years ago, actually. This isn't a new idea. But fleshing it out, let me tell you, a lot of things have changed since I started this. Swapping cards around was meant to be a thing you did all the time, and not so now. It's going to be a lot easier for people to pick 7 cards, add them up, and play with those 7 than it's going to be to keep changing. Keep changing is just going to be too hard. There are 3 cards in the game that will let you swap cards once, and I've tried to limit that. I really hope people don't really struggle to swap their cards a lot, because it's too much to remember. Remembering 7 cards is bad enough. If you go through more than 7 cards, if you go through 14 or 21 cards in a game, that's going to be too many. Alright, so this is 4 months of active work. I mean, I'm not even going to count the prep work I did. These cards were actually designed about 15 years ago for a company that wanted me to make a card set for them. And actually, in the original, there were only 3 boxes. Their design only called for, well, 6 boxes, not 8. And the elemental symbols were not there, and of course my logo was not there. And my signature and stuff, actually those were there. I wanted people to know who'd designed them. But in the end, I think they just stopped talking to me, and that was it. The project just dried up and died. So that didn't go anywhere, but I make a real point not to delete work I've done. I feel that would be a tremendous waste. When I hear about my friends who have deleted files or emails or writing or lost it, I feel bad, because this is very much an example of me going back to an old project and having a chunk of the work done. Now, I did a heck of a lot more work in designing the game, but having the cards ready and just sitting there, having the backgrounds pretty much done for me already many years ago, made this whole project a lot easier. Now, this set will be unique. There's a couple of mistakes on these cards. You could call it mistakes that will not be appearing in future runs. The logo has changed a little bit. So this will be the first printing, and this will never happen again. In future printings, there's some changes I've made, and I will be able to tell this printing versus the other printing. I am sorely tempted to squirrel a pack of these away, because I only got the 2, and keep it for posterity. But the reason things are valuable and collectible is because people don't, and I'm not going to. I need these cards. We're going to be playing a game in a month, and I need these to be available so that people can use them. I'm sure at some point I will save a copy of the set, but maybe it would be just as good to save a completed copy of the set than one that's only partial. Anyway, I'm going to drool over these for some time, and I hope you guys get to see them in about a month.